You set a boundary. Calmly, clearly, and respectfully. But instead of them handling it like a mature adult, they got angry, or they got hurt, or they made you feel like you did something wrong. Sound familiar? If setting boundaries leaves you feeling like you're walking on eggshells, second-guessing yourself, or wondering, am I the bad guy here? This talk is for you. Today we're diving into how emotionally immature people typically react to boundaries and what their reaction really says about them, not you, and also how you can handle it when they react in these ways. But first, if you're new here, welcome to our incredible little corner on the internet. Take a second, introduce yourself in the comment section below. If you are back again, it is always good to have you. My name is Julia Christina. I am a registered clinical therapist, a researcher, a coach, a speaker, and the author of my book, Drive Your Own Darn Bus. And I help heart-centered humans think better, feel better, and live better so that they can like themselves and their lives more every day. And let me just straighten out my camera a little bit better here. So I want to tell you a story. I had someone recently tell me about how she was really working on her boundaries and really assessing where she needed better boundaries for herself, for her well-being, for her energy, for her capacity. And one of these boundaries was about needing quiet time to herself in the evening. So she told her mom this. She let her mom know that she needed some quiet downtime to herself in the evening, so she was going to start turning her phone off at 9 o'clock and wasn't going to be taking any calls after that. Her mom's reply? Well, I guess I just don't matter to you anymore, which left this person thinking, wow, that totally backfired. Am I selfish? Am I wrong for taking this space for myself? Should I just be keeping myself available all the time? Let me say this clearly. Emotionally mature people see your boundary as information. Emotionally immature people see your boundary as betrayal. Why? Because your boundary isn't just a request to them. It's a threat to either their sense of control in the relationship or their access to you that they have gotten used to having without any boundaries. So on that note, let's walk through 6 common ways that emotionally immature people react when you set a boundary so you can stop blaming or doubting yourself and start seeing those patterns for what they really are. The first one, as we just talked about, they guilt trip you. Well, I guess I'm just not that important to you anymore. Or, I guess I'm just the worst then. Or, really? After everything I've done for you? In this case, they are shifting the blame from your boundary to their hurt feelings. And why do they do this? Because if they are the one who is hurt, then you are the one who is wrong. It's like you just told them about a traffic rule and they act like you just told them that you totaled their car. So what do? You stay calm, you stay grounded, and you say to them something like, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm just trying to be clear and take responsibility for what I need. Then pause. Don't over-explain and just let that discomfort sit where it belongs. The next way that emotionally immature people react when you set a boundary, they get defensive. Fast. Okay, you don't have to keep bringing it up. Oh my gosh, you're always so sensitive. Know that defensiveness is a way to deflect shame. In these situations, they're not stopping to pause and reflect. They're going into protect and attack. So what do? Again, you stay grounded and you say clearly, we don't have to agree on this, but this is important to me. They can get defensive and they probably will get upset, but your job is to stay calm and centered and grounded. And if you want to know how emotionally grounded you already are, then you can get my quiz that's aptly titled, How Emotionally Grounded Are You? That's going to give you an idea of how you handle big feelings when they come up, how you handle difficult situations when they come up. And then it's going to give you some tips to stay and get even more grounded no matter whomever or whatever is going on either inside or around you. Get that quiz. It's completely free. The link to that is in the description. Understand that their reactivity is not proof that you were harsh. It's proof that they haven't built the emotional capacity to be able to hear feedback without collapse. Our next way that emotionally immature people handle a boundary is they punish you with distance. Suddenly, they go quiet, or they get cold, or all of a sudden they cancel plans, or take longer to reply, or start to get kind of icy and prickly. And this is actually a covert way of saying, if you make me uncomfortable, I'm going to withdraw connection. And it's emotional manipulation in disguise. In this case, their connection, or maybe even their love, is being used as either a reward or punishment based on whether or not you do or say what they want you to do or say. And the truth is, when love feels conditional, boundaries feel dangerous. And also, if you grew up like that, then this reaction can be especially triggering. Almost like love is slipping through your fingers just because you spoke your truth. So what do? Well, first of all, take a deep breath and remind yourself, I didn't do anything wrong by speaking up. Then speak calmly, but clearly. I get the sense that you need some time to process this. Let me know when you'd like to talk about it more. Give them their space without chasing. Their silence doesn't mean that your boundary was bad or wrong. Our next way that emotionally immature people react to a boundary, they pretend like nothing happened. You set the boundary, and then they act later like the conversation never took place. They repeat the behavior, they change the subject, or they conveniently forget. But know that this isn't a memory issue. This is a control issue, because if they never acknowledge your words, then they never have to make any changes or do anything any differently. So what do? You remind them and you reinforce it. Hey, I meant what I said, and if something's unclear, let's talk about it. Or one of my favorite ways to handle a situation like this, and if you are one of my shifters, you know exactly what I'm going to say right now. You get curious. You just simply get curious and approach them with that curiosity and say something like, hey, I asked you not to do that. Is there a reason why you keep doing it? Know that clarity and consistency and even curiosity matter more than intensity. And our next way that emotionally immature people react to boundaries is they try to make you feel like you're being mean or selfish. And honestly, this is one that came up for me a lot when I first started learning about healthy boundaries and then learning how to set them. When I first started really understanding that I was allowed to make my own choices for my own life as a grown adult, and also realized that I needed to break some patterns of codependency and enmeshment. And if you're like me, maybe they've said things to you like, oh, you've really changed, or so don't you think you're being a little bit selfish? Or I guess we don't matter all that much to you anymore. And you and I both know that these ones sting, especially if you're a giver or a peacemaker or a caretaker or a people pleaser. But here's the trap. They want you to equate setting a boundary with being unkind. And the truth? You can be clear and kind, firm and loving, boundaried and generous. And the truth is, the people who are the most authentically generous are the ones who have the most clear boundaries for others and for themselves. So what do? Instead of arguing with them or defending yourself or justifying yourself, use a technique called rolling with resistance. And it's a technique that I teach in my assertive and effective communication course, Speak and Feel Heard. But this one is really exactly what it sounds like. You roll with whatever resistance they are putting in front of you. Yes, I am doing some things differently. I realized that I wasn't taking very good care of myself, so I've decided to start caring for both others and myself. Our next way that emotionally immature people react to boundaries, they push back harder. You say, "Please don't raise your voice at me," and they raise it louder. You say, "I need a break from this conversation," and they double down. Understanding that this is often about power. They are testing to see what they can get away with. They want to see if your boundary will hold. Not because they didn't hear it, but because they hope you'll just drop it. It's like a child testing bedtime limits by pushing hard against them, except this time it's an adult pushing back against emotional limits. So what do? You use a technique called the curious broken record. And this is a technique that I use with my kids all the time. If I've asked them to do something and they run away or they don't do it or they get distracted, and I simply say to them, "I asked you to put your clothes away. Is there a reason you haven't done it?" Or, "I asked you to go get your pajamas on. Is there a reason you haven't done it?" Or, "I asked you to get into bed so we could have lots of story and snuggle time. Is there a reason you're not doing it?" In these situations, when someone is pushing back, it's not going to be helpful to get angry, to get defensive, to get argumentative, and it is going to be a lot more effective to just get curious. So here's what I want you to remember. The way someone reacts to your boundary tells you more about their emotional maturity than it does about your message. Yes, when we are setting boundaries, absolutely, we want them to be clean, clear, kind, and classy. And if you are doing those things and someone is still engaging in these emotionally immature reactive behaviors, that doesn't mean that you were wrong to speak up. It means that they haven't developed the capacity to be able to handle you having space in the relationship. A healthy, emotionally mature person might need time or might need some space to process your boundaries, especially if they are new to them and this isn't something that you have done in the past. They may need a little bit of time to adjust, but they won't guilt, attack, or punish you. Know that boundaries aren't walls, they're doors. They're not about keeping people fully out. They're about showing others how to meet you and not push past you or walk all over you. If this talk helped you understand someone's behavior or helped you get clear on some more helpful responses to it, let me know in the comment section below. And if you want help staying steady and grounded, no matter whomever or whatever is going on either inside or around you, then take the quiz about how grounded are you and get those tips in there about how to get even more grounded. And also remember that boundaries don't make you mean. They make you clear. They don't make you the bad guy. They make you someone who is discerning and learning to stand with and for themselves. If you haven't yet, if I could ask you to take a moment to like the video if you got something out of it, subscribe to the channel so that we can stay connected, and until next time, take good care of yourself, take good care of those around you. Bye for now.